Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have two 2023 Ford Rangers. One's gonna be a Tremor and one has the FX4 off-road package. Now, if you don't know, the Tremor is gonna get slightly worse fuel economy because of the tires, but let's do a test out in the wild with both of these trucks back to back to see actually what it would be. Special shout out to Larry H. Miller here in Salt Lake City. This is the Super Ford store. If you are in the market, they actually have three of these trucks here. They have another Tremor that's black, and they have the Azure Gray. Looks like it's gonna rain. Hopefully I can do the 0 to 60 on my draggy today. Let's see. Okay, it looks like it's working. It's working. Yes, so we'll do 0 to 60. And then I do have my sound, or my dB reader, so we can kind of get an idea how loud the interior is. One thing I like about these trucks, because if you haven't noticed, I don't ever do videos on these. I like how easy it is to move around a parking lot with these. It's so easy coming from a big 8,000 pound HD truck. That's all I drive. But I do understand the appeal here. As far as putting this in a garage, I'm sure it fits perfectly. And it can still do some heavy lifting. But let me go ahead. The light's still red here. And so I already reset the fuel economy back at the dealership. And what we'll do is we'll do a 0 to 60 run up front here. And then we'll do one with the other truck. Hopefully it doesn't rain by then, because it looks kind of nasty out here right now. So we'll see how it all shakes out. So here's the powertrain. This is going to be a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. 270 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 10-speed transmission. And the turbo is tucked away about right there. It's covered by the heat shields a little bit, but all in all, we're gonna see how this does getting to 60 miles an hour. Here we go. Wow, that was really slow. But keep in mind, we are pretty high above sea level. We're in Salt Lake City. I think it's like, what, 5,000 feet or something like that. So you lose about 3% of your horsepower every 1,000 feet. But again, I only say it's slow because I've had some HD trucks that would probably have beat it to 0 to 30. And then from 0 to 60, I think the truck was still just about to, you know, beat it to about 60 miles an hour. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the performance. I mean, this is not a race truck. But yeah, this is definitely about, like, this is what you buy these trucks for. This is like a cruising truck. The suspension is really soft. With the Tremor, they do give you an additional leaf out back compared to like the FX4 truck I'm going to be reviewing. It feels like a half ton. I don't think it's much more comfortable than one, but it feels like one. We're running about 75 miles an hour. That's what I have the cruise control set. So here are the RPMs. 373 rear out back. We're like at 2,000 RPMs. And this does have like the radar cruise control, so it's actually slowing me down. I actually like theirs better than Chevy. Chevy's is very abrupt. Like, they don't really have a nice refined system. And this one feels good. Like, I didn't even notice it was braking until, you know, I looked down at the speed. But yeah, the RPMs at about, what is that? About 65 miles an hour, or just under 2,000 RPM. So about 1,800, give or take. Not bad. I'm happy with that. But we'll probably go like another 5 miles or so, and then we'll head back to the dealership. So I'll check in once we get to that midpoint. Now, if you didn't watch the last video, I did show the payload for this truck. So here are the numbers for axles and gross vehicle weight. And then here's the payload capacity at 1,414 pounds. So this truck has a decent payload for your passengers, cargo, and maybe towing a small trailer for sure. So this is exit 127. It's starting to rain, so I'm gonna cut this drive a little bit shorter than I normally do. I try to do like 20 miles, but this will probably be an easy 11 or 12 mile trip. But still a good scenario, because I want to get back and do the 0 to 60 with the other truck before the roads get wet. So in this area right here, it's starting to rain a little bit, so we'll start making our way back to the dealership And here's where we are. We're at 15.6 MPG. So that is with the 0 to 60. So just keep that in mind. And we're gonna hop back on the interstate. Now obviously the rain's gonna affect this a little bit, right? I like the steering, by the way, on this truck. Well, hold on. We're going about 65 miles an hour actually right now. When you hit bumps, it's like 6 to 8 decibels. By the window here, a little bit louder by the window, like 69 from this area. .65 out back. Out back is typically the like quietest, and the rain's probably affecting this a little bit. So the good news is we get to see if there's a difference in the future with this truck when it's not raining. So far we're at 18 MPG at 8.4 miles driven. And I gotta tell you, man, this is not a bad riding pickup. Like, I'm really liking the steering. It's really stiff at these higher speeds because this truck is not that heavy. So naturally you would want, you know, a little bit more tighter steering. So yeah, I do like that about this Ranger. But we're about to get back in a little bit. I just had to hit my brakes just now. Brakes feel really good. Normally Ford trucks are really touchy on the brakes, but that's not the case here. This one's definitely a lot more refined. But we're about to get off the interstate in about a mile here, and then we'll be back at the dealership. Oh yeah, the brakes feel really good, guys. Really good. But yeah, I'll check back in with the MPG, and then we'll jump into the other truck. I kind of forgot to talk about the general grabber tires on this truck. These tires, they're pretty aggressive, but you don't know that they're aggressive if you're just driving the truck. They don't have that much noise, and I find that they're really comfortable. Like, I think that, you know, for this truck to be a mid-size pickup with, you know, kind of aggressive tires, I would have expected there to be some noise inside this truck, but that's not the case here. Not at all. The 10-speed is very smooth in this truck. At about 75 miles an hour, pretty much, let's show you guys the RPMs again. Yeah, we're right at 2,000 RPMs. Let me see if I can get up to 80. So that's 80. We're just a little bit over 2,000 RPM, so that's not bad. Hopefully this Bronco stays there. So we're at 19.6 MPG, 12.2 miles driven, and it took us about 16 minutes to get to this point. So let's go ahead and jump into the other one, and we'll see if we can do a little bit better. Just reset the fuel economy. I'm gonna go ahead and get my draggy set up here, and we're gonna get down the road. So this truck definitely is missing some equipment here. I could tell, like, the auxiliary switches aren't there. The gauge cluster is a little bit different. That actually had like a screen, but this one just has one in the center, and the RPMs were just digital. But for the most part, no leather, or actually no leather and suede seats. These are just cloth, but you still get that ugly two-tone roof. So I don't know, like, we'll see how these Hancooks do. I'm actually really excited to see how these trucks perform back to back. But we're gonna go ahead and do the 0 to 60 here first, and then we'll get down the road and check out what the fuel economy is. Here we go.
30. 60. Quarter mile.
Now that felt fast. That felt fast. Holy smokes. So you saw, like, there was a dead spot with the other truck, and I almost wonder if, I mean, the tires shouldn't really make a difference off the line like that unless they were skirting, but for the most part you could clearly see the performance difference there. Like, this truck definitely walked that one, and even up to about 60 miles an hour it stayed ahead pretty good. So wow. Now let's go ahead and check out the RPMs. Now the tires they're probably not gonna make a huge difference. These have the Hankook Dyna Pros, This has an 18-inch wheel versus the 17s on the Ranger Tremor. So we'll see if there's any differences in the RPMs regardless. And you can see these a little bit better versus the one on the Tremor because the screen was a little bit smaller. So this might be a little bit better for you guys to see. We're going about 72 miles an hour. I have it set at 75. Now we're going 75, so we're just under 2,000. So let me see if I can get to 80 for you guys. Yeah, this truck is really smooth. It's a little bit smoother than the Tremor. There we go. Alright, so that car just got over 80 miles an hour. Yeah, we're just a hair over 2,000. Like, that is so nice. So you can cruise on the highway going 80 miles an hour, no problems. But I'm not gonna go that fast because unfortunately we only went like 75 miles an hour because the traffic is a little bit heavier. So we'll kind of maintain that, okay? So here are the numbers for the FX4 XLT. 6,050 is the GVWR. And front and rear gross axle ratings are there. And all in all, 1,428 pound payload, which is surprising because there's definitely more options on the Tremor, but you don't really see that in the payload. And they have the same gross vehicle weight rating. I'm trying to find the perfect comfort for this truck. Like, this feels small for me. Like, I don't know if I could live with this every day. I like my bigger HD trucks. I mean, even the half tons feel bigger than this. And comfort is not bad, but these seats are definitely, they're not as comfortable as the ones that were in the Tremor. It could just be in my head because they're cloth. They might be just a little bit warmer. But I just feel like my legs, I don't know. I'm trying to like get comfortable. It's just a small truck. And I have a seat all the way back. I could probably push the steering wheel. Okay, that might help a little bit. Okay, that helped a little bit actually. Telescoping steering wheel, you're gonna need that in this truck. We're actually about to get off right now, so let me show you guys the fuel economy for the midpoint. Here we go. We're getting off right now. This is exit 127. That's where we got off last time. Here's where we are. 15.3. I can't remember where we were last. But we're gonna go ahead and head back the opposite direction. And let's see if we can break 20 MPG. It's about 66, 67, 68. It's a little bit quieter out back. Let me go at least 75. I want to go at least 75 for this because I think I was going about that fast with the truck. So 75. It's actually a little bit louder back there compared to the Tremor. A little bit, like 1 dB louder. So yeah, the rain didn't make much of a difference on that. So I was kind of wondering if it would. But so far so good. Steering feels great. These tires are definitely a little bit quieter. I can tell, just a little bit quieter. But when you don't have any music on, the trucks that you pass, they're loud inside of here. I don't recall them being this loud in my HDs, or maybe the HD trucks are just louder and I don't notice anything on the outside. So we should be back in about 5 minutes or so. I might check back in one more time. We are at 18.8 MPG and we got quite a bit more to go, so we're getting better for sure. I just crossed over to 19 right now. Now the Fox shocks on the Tremor, they do feel better with that suspension. As I mentioned, this does have one leaf spring missing out back per pack obviously, but the Fox shocks do have reservoirs on them, and I feel like the rebound on the shocks are just a little bit better for the Tremor, just a little bit. Like there have been a few times I've hit some bumps going around curves and I could feel a little bit of sway coming from the suspension. but it's not terrible. It's just a noticeable difference, and I think that the Tremor performs just a little bit better. You get a softer suspension with the off-road packages, so this does have an off-road package, but the shocks are a little bit better tuned, I think, overall. But we just got back to the dealership. This is the last time I'll check in. We are over 20 MPG, guys. All right, we just made it back. Ford Bronco. So that's 20.3 MPG, 12 miles driven, and 16 minutes. So yeah, this truck got better MPG, to no one's surprise. So what'd you guys learn today? Tires do make a difference with your performance. These trucks are about the same weight, more or less. They're like, what, 1,414 pounds, I believe, and then this one was like 1,428. That's not a big difference. And the Tremor has a little bit more meatier tire, but remember, the FX4 has an 18-inch wheel versus the 17s on this Tremor. So both have running boards, and yeah, the only difference is the leather and suede seats, but that's not going to make a huge difference for the weight. But nevertheless, it's still a little bit heavier compared to the FX4. But I hope you guys liked the video. If I had to choose a truck, I would just go ahead and get the Tremor, because the fuel economy is not much different, and I think the Tremor looks so much nicer. See you guys in the next video.